Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. In this edition, we are dealing with the concern about pregnancy and diving. Keep watching. We got a question from a diving instructor who had just discovered that they are pregnant, they have a trip that's coming up, and they want to know whether in the very early stages of pregnancy it would be safe for them to dive. This is quite a complicated question, simply for the reason that the general recommendation is that if you're pregnant, you shouldn't dive. The reason for that is that for a variety of reasons, the fetus and embryo, in this case, is not able to outgas as the mother would, and therefore the chances of nitrogen or inert gas accumulation within the embryo or fetus would be greater or could be greater than the mother, and the elimination of gas would therefore be a bit slower, and for that reason the accumulation may lead to bubble formation, and so the embryo or fetus may develop decompression illness, whereas the mother would not be aware of it or not have it at all. Now, in general, people who are pregnant pay very good attention to their health. They eat right, give up alcohol, give up smoking, and do everything possible for the benefit of the baby. And if that is your attitude in general towards this, then posing the risk of diving on the pregnancy wouldn't make sense, because you're doing everything else to try and protect the baby. Why put them at risk in this case? Having said that, in the very early stages of pregnancy, the fetus or embryo in this case is so small that the chances that bubbles would cause a problem are probably fairly remote. And there are a number of female divers like Eugenie Clark, who's a very famous diver, who dived right through her pregnancies and had no problems. The difficulty, though, is if there were to be an abnormality in the fetus after delivery of the baby, it's going to be very difficult to exonerate yourself and not say, "Oh, if I had given up diving, maybe this wouldn't have happened." And I would wish to spare you that concern, whether it was that dive trip that actually, in the bigger scheme of things, was probably not that essential. So it's a decision every person needs to make for themselves, but the general recommendation is not a good idea to go diving when you're pregnant. I hope that answers your question. Clearly, the decision is ultimately yours, and I hope that you make a wise one. Until next time, safe diving.